Welcome to the community of faith at Emmanuel Episcopal Church here in Staunton, Virginia. It's good to have you here with us this morning. As you all know, we're experiencing the searing heat of summer just now, and in a church without air conditioning, this is a real challenge for us. We are, of course, exploring air conditioning possibilities for the future, but this will be a major challenge for us and will likely be hundreds of thousands of dollars. Nevertheless, we are undaunted as we explore possibilities. Air conditioning is not just a luxury, it is increasingly a necessity. The planet, as we all realise, is not going to get any cooler. Making sure our worship space is accessible and safe and offered as a gift to our community to be used not only for worship, but to celebrate human creativity, to welcome guests and visitors exploring the sacred and the spiritual, and to be a place of gathering and inclusion is, I believe, a divine imperative. And this leaves us with a challenge. But Emmanuel has adapted and changed over many years since its creation. And that journey, of course, has not ended. We hope you will continue to journey with us. However, in the meantime, the church wardens have decided that for the hot summer months, and believe me, it is really hot here just now, it is safer for us to worship in our air-conditioned fellowship hall downstairs. Unfortunately, down there we're not able to live stream, and we know this will disappoint our online community, but we want to work hard to make sure that you still feel included wherever you are. So today we offer this recording, broadcast at the same time as our main act of worship, as a way of keeping you connected and involved. In a few moments, I will share with you the sermon for today. I do hope and pray that the scriptures will speak to you as we reflect together on the healing ministry of Jesus. May each of you, wherever and however you are, be touched and inspired by God's word. And may you know deeply in your lives the call of Jesus to bring your worship and your prayers to him as an offering of praise and thanksgiving. May you be blessed in that, so that you, in your turn, may be a blessing to others for the sake of the world. For those of you who watched the CNN presidential debate, you will realise the exchanges were very different this time. No crowd, no talking over one another. It was a very different kind of formality, a very different kind of relationship. Different approaches to the search for peace and the use of fear to inspire and challenge. Direct words seeking direct answers, with all the challenge and pressure that brings. In our Gospel reading today, we have two stories with very different exchanges carefully woven together in Mark's Gospel. In the first, Jairus, a religious leader and an important and respected man, comes to Jesus, for he has a daughter who is at the point of death. Then, on the way to his house, Jesus encounters a marginalized woman, a nameless social outcast who reaches out to Jesus indirectly, doing her very best to receive healing unobserved. Interestingly, she'd suffered, Mark tells us, for as many years as Jairus' daughter was alive. But Jesus makes Jairus wait while he stops to pay attention to the woman. He didn't actually need to, of course, for she had already been healed. But giving her precedence over the well-respected and well-to-do Jairus was no doubt significant. It was precisely the religious culture Jairus represented that was the source of her status as an outcast. She would have been used to people turning their backs on her, but for Jesus it was not enough for her to see his back. He would not leave until they had spoken face to face. You see, the relationship was what was most important. The healing happened in a crowded street, people pressing up against Jesus on every side. And she believed in Jesus' power, his divine power, so much that she was convinced all she needed to do was touch his clothing in order to be healed. She'd spent all she had, but just got worse. It was a desperate situation for her. Now, Mark's text doesn't offer details about what part of Jesus' clothing she touched, but the touch was important. It might have been the swinging and swaying tassels affixed to the traditional garment worn by observant Jews, or it might have been the edge of the seamless robe that was Jesus' sole possession at the end of his life, disposed of as he hung upon the cross. Whatever it was that this sick-to-death, outcast woman touched, she was transformed. She felt it immediately, and Jesus felt it too. The woman felt healed in her body. Jesus felt healing power go out from his. Despite the urgent, life-saving mission Jesus was on for the sake of Jairus' daughter, he stops in the middle of it all and demands to know who had touched him, who had been healed. Jesus insists that healing is not a mechanical or magical exercise. No, true healing requires a relational encounter. He wanted to know the story. And doctors in our own day know this too. There is an evidenced interplay between both medicine and state of mind and emotional heart. Jesus gave her peace in place of fear, respect instead of shame. Once more, we see clearly that God's healing brings more than the absence of illness. A healing, of course, we all need in our own lives, in our communities, and across our world. But then Jesus receives the news. It's over for Jairus' daughter. Once more, Jesus asserts the need for belief, faith over fear. Dismissing the crowd and taking just 3 disciples and the girl's parents into the room with him, Mark records for us Jesus' actual words in Aramaic, Talitha cum, little lamb, arise. For the little girl, the healing was not in the midst of great drama. There was no crowd, no formality, but just privacy, kindness, and affectionate words she could understand and trust. Perhaps in this season of turbulence, uncertainty, words, shouting, commotion and bluster, we too might seek face-to-face relationship and connection that dispels fear, corrects untruth, allows us to speak and hear words of kindness and affection which can restore and heal. Our very lives depend on it. Little lambs, arise, get up. Jesus is calling. Will you respond?